My Hero Academia is one of the most popular series over the past 10 years. My Hero Academia is one of the most popular series over the past 10 or so years. And it is really good. I prefer the manga over the anime for the most part. Is it the best? Not necessarily. I'd argue that there are better from the same time period, but for what it is not as bad as some of the haters might say. But it's also not as good as a lot of the fans say. So, first off, the art is phenomenal. Like, especially in the latter half, I'd say right around like here, like 15 through 18. That's really when the art is really good. But there are some excellent moments throughout the series just make it stand out. If you are unaware of the plot, it essentially is everybody in the entire world has superpowers called quirks. And being a superhero is like a legitimate profession that you can be. And it's essentially like being an astronaut that's kind of what kids want to be. They see that all around and they want to just be, that's what they want to be when they grow up. But there's about 20% of the population who is born without superpowers, and that is the main character, Izuku Midoriya. That's what has happened. That's the condition that he was born with. He was born without superpowers. And throughout the series, early in the series, he gains a superpower, and he's going to try and become the number one hero. I'm going to be reviewing this series by season of the anime because that's just an easy way to break it up. So in the first season, doesn't cover that much. It's about 13 episodes in length, but it goes from the introduction of the main characters, him getting into UA High, which is the high school to become a superhero, and a training arc in the beginning, and then also the USJ event, which is where the League of Villains, this group of supervillains, have attacked the high school, and none of the teachers are able to get there in time, and so it's the students are having to fight them off until they can get the teachers to come and drive them back. It's a fairly good start to the series. I'd say the first two volumes are very iconic and have some very iconic moments from the series, and I think it's a pretty good start to the series. Season 2 of the series covers a slightly longer part of the series, with covering about 3 major arcs. The first one being the sports festival arc, which is essentially a tournament arc for the series. Then we have the Hero Killer Stain arc, and then the last little bit is kind of midterms for the characters, where they have to fight each of the teachers. It's not exactly a training arc, but it's something similar to it, although the next major arc is a big training arc. Most people recognize from the series the sports festival arc, but the Hero Killer Stain arc is probably one of the best early My Hero arcs, just in general. And the latter half it's kind of mediocre. Sports Festival is it's decent. It's I'd say in terms of the series, I'd say it's probably about a 6 out of 10. Well, Hero Killer Stain is probably a 7.5 out of 10. This is probably a 4 out of 10, just based off the general, how I personally view about the arcs. Although it introduces the Sports Festival introduces probably one of my favorite characters in the series, just based on his entire character growth, and that is Endeavor. There's plenty of character studies on him, and I won't go into much detail, but I just love his character development. Season 3 of the series is again slightly longer. Each of the seasons have been getting slightly longer in time. So the first little arc, probably about these few episodes, are the summer training camp arc. I forget the exact name. And then in the middle we have the Camino incident, and then we have the last little bit is the hero license course. And this is actually, this part really steps up its game, especially like between really the summer camp and the Camino incident. They're pretty much like right into each other. But the Camino incident is really good. I'd say it's probably an 8 out of 10. And then the summer camp is probably a 7 out of 10. License exam is probably a 5 out of 10. And then there's a little bit, probably one of the best parts of the series, though, is right after the hero licensing exam. And that is Izuku Midoriya versus Katsuki Bakugo, his rival throughout the series, and their fight after Bakugo realized figured out Izuku Midoriya's secret, and that's a really great fight. And yeah, this is such a great part of the series, actually. It's not the high point just yet. That's actually still to come, but still, it is a really good arc or season. Next up is the Shie Hisaikai arc in Season 4, which actually lasts about 5 volumes. It's one of the longest arcs in the series. And then we have the School Festival training arc and the Endeavor versus Nomu arc. The majority of the season these 5 volumes actually take up about 12 episodes of the season, which is crazy. How much short of a space was crammed into a lot of material. But it's really good. I know a lot of people who kind of drifted off the series after this part, but I really think that, at least with the manga, that it just keeps getting better. While there is a dip with the School Festival arc, there are some highlights in there, especially with some great character moments, especially from Jiro. And yeah, it's so good. Endeavor, also that Endeavor vs. Nomu arc is so great. The art in it is fantastic. It probably has some of my favorite, it's probably my favorite fight in up till this point, just in general. We also get some of the introduction of some players who will be heavily influencing the rest of the series, such as Hawks. And kind of is he or is he not a traitor? And yeah, it's just really, really good. So that's Season 4 of My Hero Academia. Season 5 is clearly the shortest arc since Season 1, but it also lasted for about 26 episodes. The first half is awful. Second half should have been a lot better. This is definitely the part of the series where I would just stop watching the anime so far. See, we are getting a Season 6 in October, but I'd say just read the manga from here on out, especially for these two. These two were it was pretty heavily censored. It's called the My Villain Academia arc, and it is probably the best arc in the series so far. Just in general, it's just really well written, and there's some great setup for the villains, and the art is so beautiful. Kohei Horikoshi is really, really talented. The only thing interesting about this only has 2 interesting parts. One is the reintroduction of a character all the way back from Season 2, Shinso, who has kind of these mind-controlling powers. It explains it more in the series. But other than that, and also introduces Black Whip, which is another power that Izuku Midoriya's quirk has that he did not know at first. And then this part is a good training arc setting up for the big finale, at least so far. This is Season 6, which is kind of the major high point of the series. It is the war arc, or the start of the war arc. This is where the manga is currently caught up at. It ended. It got caught up this March. I think there's about 30 something chapters that have been released after volume 30. They're just taking their time to release it, but this is the latest release from Viz, and it's really good. Honestly, okay, so I like the My Villain Academia arc better. I'd say that's probably a 9 out of 10. Yeah, and then this is definitely another 9. The War arc is definitely another 9 out of 10. It has some great reveals and character moments, and honestly, Volume 30 is probably my favorite volume in the entire series. But yeah, the art's really great. I can't really like say much more than that. It's just hard to describe. It gets fairly dark as it goes on, which is why I'm like worried that the anime might not do so well soon in Volume 6. Like they kind of ruined Season 5, so I'm not sure how they're going to do Season 6. So this is why I recommend like pretty much just read the manga after like around, so Season 5 onward, just read the manga. It's a lot better, just in terms of pacing, storytelling, and animation. They just botched it kind of hard, and that's more of the studio's fault, not really the artists or anything. It was just the direction that the series was choosing to go, and it just didn't work for the series. But yeah, other than that, this is like I highly recommend that. Like the War arc is definitely better than everything that was in the entire series before, except for maybe the My Villain Academia arc. By far, I'd say it's just so much better. So yeah, that's Season 6 of My Hero Academia, which will be coming out in October. So here it is. Here's some final thoughts that I have about My Hero Academia. I really like these outside. Looking at the covers like this, they look really nice, and they stand out from the general either black or white that normal manga covers have, at least from the Shonen Jump line of Viz Media. The front covers are kind of weird up until like right around the middle. Then they start getting really good, especially volumes 30 and 25. So like that. Volume 30. Yeah, I highly recommend at least reading it. Or I would definitely read it for sure. Watch it maybe at least up to Season 5, which is like right here. Mostly just because storytelling just kind of takes a dive. The movies are okay. But other than that, yeah, I don't have much to say. If you don't know what it is, I'm surprised that you're even watching anything anime related. Just to say, but yeah, it's good. It's definitely not anything like it's not even probably top 25 material. It's probably like 26 or so. Maybe, I don't know. It's definitely top 30 series. Maybe even a little lower. But I do recommend it. It's at least reading it, as I've repeated again. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram, where I have reviews of all of these volumes and some reels and some fun stuff, some inspirational anime quotes that will hopefully pick you up. And yeah, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye.